Hi guys, as promised, today we're going to be taking a look at the Guild Wars 2 beta weekend. And this is the character select screen you're taking a look at here. I've already got a couple characters created. My main character, a level 16 Ranger, and a Norn Guardian who's only level 2. But for the purposes of this first look, we're actually going to be creating a fresh character. So you guys can see the character select screen. You have 5 different races to choose from. However, in this particular beta test, you can only choose between the Char, the Human, and the Norn. Now we're going to go ahead and pick the Human race, and we're going to pick a male. And in addition to 5 different races, there are actually 8 classes. You got the Elementalist, the Warrior, the Guardian, the Engineer, the Ranger, the Necromancer, the Thief, and the Mesmer. Okay, now we're actually going to pick a class, and I think I want to go with the Warrior this time. We're going to hit Next, and there's quite a wide variety of character customization options available. Maybe not so much as in a game like Aeon, however, it definitely ranks right up there as probably being one of the most robust character customization features I've seen in an MMORPG. Possibly only beaten out again by Aeon and perhaps City of Heroes and Champions Online and Star Trek Online. But anyway, I'm going to try not to be too picky with my character customization here because all characters do get wiped at the end of this beta weekend, and this is the last day for the beta weekend. So I'm trying not to get too attached to my characters. I don't want to play too much, get too far along, and then only have all my progress wiped and be forced to start all over from scratch next month. So instead, I'm kind of taking things a little slower than I did in the Terra beta, and I'm just sort of enjoying the game, kind of exploring a little bit, seeing what all the game has to offer. But I'm really trying not to get too far into the game. So anyway, let's go with that hairstyle, and we can choose some facial hair here. That looks good. I don't tend to mess with, but you can actually change all these different sliders for your facial details. I choose to leave most of this all at default. And interestingly, a lot like the original Guild Wars, you can actually choose the color of your starter gear. So if you want, say, silver chainmail instead of gold, well, you can set that. And it's actually, again, it's a very unique system. But it takes, and you could do that in Guild Wars 1, but it takes it a step further in that when you are out adventuring in the game world, at any time you can actually dye your gear to a different color, and then any gear you equip will match the color that you pick, sort of like in DCUO if you've played that game. But anyway, now we're here at the select background screen, and this is a lot of different little background information, kind of like in Dragon Age, that you can pick that sort of alters your story a little bit. But you can pick between different things, and it really, again, it depends on the class as to what all the class and race as to what all you can choose from. But I'm just going to go through here and pick some stuff just to get through the review, and then you can actually choose your name. And for the purposes of this review, I don't know. Let's go with Abercrombie. Yeah. Oh, it's already in use. Okay. Wow. Okay. Let's go with let's just make up a name. Okay. Alright, there we go. And now this game does have a lot of loading screens, kind of like the Old Republic had a lot of loading screens. However, the loading screens are a lot faster.
The human race once ruled Tyria.
And what we're looking at now is a cutscene that begins the human the human campaign here for the personal story. And as you can see, there's not a lot in the way of real-time rendered cutscenes. Rather, it's a lot of watercolor paintings, and it's very stylized.
So many nations have fallen.
Any cutscene that you'll find in the game, in terms of dialogue, will be done similar to this, except for it will be a standard watercolored background full of pre-rendered
Courage
characters
will make our stand
standing in front
divinity's reach.
of the background, and they'll just be talking. Now, I'm not the biggest fan of that. I guess I was spoiled by the Old
city
Republic
is
a
my
little
home.
bit. But it's a nice touch, and it just
I was born into
it can
luxury,
only add to the
a noble of
content.
divinity's reach, and privilege comes
But
with
I'm just going to
responsibility.
let this whole video play
I
out,
protect the commoners under my care.
so you
believe
guys
in
can
me.
just get a full sense
Grateful
of
for their
the
trust,
newbie game
and I
here.
will not let them down. Today I plan to venture beyond the gates of the city and see the world for myself. When I arrived in Shamor, I found the town under siege by centaurs. Innocent villagers are in danger. Someone has to help. I will show the people that we can triumph, that there is still hope. This is my story.
Okay, that was the introductory cutscene, and here's a loading screen. And as you can see, it's already already a lot faster than what you probably saw in the Old Republic. But here we are in the game, and I apologize for any low frame rates you might see in this.
Please, I need your help.
This game is not quite optimized as well as it ought to be at this point.
Please,
it's
I need
almost
your help.
entirely CPU bound, and when you
Everybody get to the
combine
end.
that with
We can
using
protect you at the
FRAPS, it's a recipe for some pretty choppy frames. But anyway, we're going to trudge through this as best we can, just to give you an idea of the introductory area for the humans, and to show you guys just kind of how the quest system in Guild Wars 2 differentiates from the norm. Now take it now understand, I have not approached a single NPC and so-called accepted a single quest since I started playing, and you'll see that you won't actually do that throughout. You talk to NPCs, but it's a lot more organic in the way that you get quests and the way that you perform your actions.
Sergeant, there are more centaurs on the other side of town.
But this is what I was
Captain
talking
Thacker is
about,
calling
you
for
know, when
reinforcements
you
at
actually
the
have some
garrison.
dialogue between the characters.
he's calling
This is
for
where
help,
most
it
of the
must be
story
serious, but I
exposition
can't
kind of comes
spare
through.
anyone.
Not my favorite part of the game.
I'll go.
And
Captain Thackeray's
I'm
never
not really
failed
wild
divinity's
about
reach.
the voice
If I can
acting.
help him,
The quality
I
of the
will.
voice acting is pretty
Officer,
bad,
bless you.
actually.
That's the spirit
That or I've
that'll
just been
win this
spoiled
war.
again by
Good
the Old
luck.
Republic. But anyway, I'm going to skip this. It's mostly over anyway. And actually, at least the starting zones, correct me if I'm wrong, but I believe it's the exact same thing for every race. Because my human ranger, I actually went through this same little area here, and I kind of thought at first it might depend on your class, but again, it only depends on your race. But anyway, I'm told to go to this garrison here, which is this place way over here. And I'm gonna run over here and run across this bridge. And now my quest updated. I have to help defend the garrison. But now's a good time, I guess, to talk about the combat skills and the combat in general. This game is actually a lot like, or the combat in this game is similar to like a game sort of like League of Legends, in that you don't really, you can click your abilities, but it's not the most, again, it's really, the game is not designed for you to do so. You have access to, as you can see on your hotbar, you have access to about 10 skills at a time, and if you want more than that, you have to swap weapons. And weapon switching is actually a skill that you do not even unlock until you're level 7. But until then, you're given a default weapon and one attack that you can constantly sort of spam over and over again, as you can see what I'm doing here. But the more you use that weapon, the closer you come to being able to unlock additional skills. Like, as you can see, I've already unlocked a new skill that I can use. It's like so it works like a charge ability. And again, I'm already working on my third ability. And at the end of the day, you'll end up with about 5 different weapon skills that you could use per weapon. And if you want more weapon skills, you actually, or if you need more skills, the only way you can get them is by switching weapons. And I kind of have mixed feelings about that again. I think a lot of people who enjoy playing MMOs do feel that their characters get more powerful as they go on aren't really going to like that system, simply because I think it was around level 5 when I pretty much got the only skills that my character was ever going to get, at least in terms of my main abilities. I got pretty much the only skills I was ever going to get at level 5. And after that, it's just using those same skills over and over and over again. Again, and that's what makes it kind of feel more like a League of Legends type combat system. And that the characters themselves are fairly simplistic to pick up. There's not a lot of research that has to be going into. You know, you're not given, you're not overloaded with skills and abilities. You have a very small set of skills that you can choose from. However, there is actually a lot of room for skilled play with this system, because while it's pretty easy to pick up, I would imagine that it's pretty hard to master. But anyway, what you just saw there, and I believe there's no way to avoid that death. Or I just died again. Maybe there is. But this is what you call being in a